Just Shapes and Beats has a ton of fun levels, but I personally find myself replaying the boss fights the most. So after playing through all of them again, I decided to make a list ranking the fights from best to worst. I'll be deciding the ranking for each fight based on how much I played it, how much I liked the song, and how much I like the boss character itself. Also, I'm going to be spoiling all the bosses for Just Shapes and Beats, which may not seem like a big deal, but it's much more exciting to play the game if you don't know what's coming next. So if you're planning to buy it, then don't watch this video. Let's start off the list with number 7. Even though it's one of the first bosses in the game, I just don't like New Game. I personally kind of like the cat-looking version of the boss the most, so I was kind of sad to see him turn all crazy. For some reason, I also have a lot of difficulty with this level. I kept failing challenge runs because of it, and I'm not really sure why. I guess the main part I have trouble with is the middle section right after he eats the Triforce thing. I'm pretty good at it now after playing so much, but I still get scraped by the boss when he moves through the pipes sometimes. This boss feels a bit slow too. The first half of it is mainly dashing up and dodging the rays coming out of the tower, and you have to wait a lot during the fight. Additionally, I'm not a big fan of the song. While I'm not a huge dubstep or EDM person, I ended up liking a lot of the game's soundtrack, but New Game in general just sounds too generic and loud to me. I like where this boss is in the story mode, as the game tricks you into thinking you've beaten the big bad before flipping your expectations, which is pretty cool. I also like the art of the cat-like boss, though that disappears pretty quickly, and I guess I like playing the final section of the boss with the cannons. Otherwise, New Game has a boring beginning and a suddenly frustrating end with a forgettable song. I honestly don't have too many feelings on Long Live the New Fresh, just that I don't hate it. The song is good, especially the full original version. The fight is fairly easy, but that's to be expected from the very first boss. And I think this level uses the main boss's cat form pretty well. I like the mechanics with the arms and how you have to dodge them, even if it's pretty simple to do so. The only thing is, the boss feels pretty average otherwise, and I almost forgot to put it in this list at first. So yeah, I guess my only main feeling on Long Live the New Fresh is that I'd rather play it over New Game. I'll admit, I didn't like Lycanthropy for a while. I had some of the same feelings towards it as I did with Long Live the New Fresh. It's just kind of an average boss fight. But after re-listening to the song, I gave it another try and ended up liking it. Like I said, the song is great, and I personally think it sounds pretty unique from the rest of the soundtrack. The Lycanthropy flower boss is able to convey a mischievous personality just through its animation, which goes to show how creative this game can be. And to top it all off, the water physics are really well done. One of the problems I have with this boss is, like New Game, was that it was pretty difficult upon replaying. I don't know, maybe I'm just out of practice or bad at this game, but I felt like this level got a little too crazy with the flower heads flying and water splashing everywhere. And even though I did say I had a new appreciation for this boss, it's still not my favorite and not the most fun to play for me. Overall, the good song, water physics, and charismatic boss are really what saved Lycanthropy from being ranked lower. The true final boss of the game, Annihilate, is a level that I don't really find fun to play, but I really appreciate for its artistic and cinematic value. The part at the beginning with the spikes and the worms was a nerve-wracking and exciting challenge, but personally I felt besides the little "you have been destroyed" animation at the beginning, the build-up didn't have much payoff. It was challenging to dodge the spikes flying out of the boss's mouth, but it wasn't necessarily fun or exciting. It just involved me dying a lot before figuring out where to go. Although I've been complaining for the most part, there are a lot of things about this boss that I like. It's got a creepy, Omega Flowey vibe, and the way it surrounds the screen really makes it feel like the hero's home is on the verge of being completely corrupted. While I wouldn't listen to the song Annihilate on its own just because I don't care for it, it gives a nice doomsday feel to this boss fight, with unnervingly high-pitched tones and scream-like sounds. This boss is also a great prelude to the very final battle where you turn Super Saiyan and win back the triangle pieces. You spend the whole fight narrowly dodging the slimy insects and spikes before getting to the end. As the spikes are closing in and the music dies down, you realize that you have nowhere left to go. You go to the only place you can hide, between the boss's monstrous jaws, and watch them slowly come together before crushing you, seemingly ending the game. Or you can just hide down there like this guy did. A fan favorite close to me is the boss fight between you and your friend when they get corrupted. While this boss took me a lot of tries to beat in the story mode, I can see why it's so popular. The song is really good overall, and the way the lyrics are incorporated into the fight by having the boss use a lot of attacks that force the player closer to them is also pretty cool. The fight has enough pattern to it that the player can be ready for what's next, and even predict it by looking at the boss's facial expression, but the fight is still varied enough that it requires practice. Close to me also feels a little extra rewarding just knowing that you save your friend by beating it. Seeing him struggle to fight against being corrupted by the pink, while not heartbreaking, is still pretty sad just because the boss looks so innocent. I guess the only reason I didn't rank this higher is because it quickly goes from being frustrating to simple once you learn how to dodge each repeated attack. But a solid song, fight, and boss makes Close to Me one of the best levels in the game. Barracuda has been a boss that I've loved since first playing it. While it could be a little more challenging, I've always found some aspects, like the snaking triangles, hard to dodge. The main reasons I like this boss is because of the song and how fun it is. Barracuda is a very good song that has a drop I'll never stop enjoying listening to. The level is pretty simple and easy to beat, but it's still fun to play and creative with its visuals. And it's also nice to get a break from the more stressful boss fights to have something that's enjoyable but not too tough. As I look over what I wrote for Barracuda, I realize I haven't really written as much as I have for lower ranking bosses. I mean, I made fan art of it, so hopefully that says enough for you. In conclusion, I don't really have an analytical or profound conclusion. Barracuda is fun and you should go play it. Well, after you hear the #1 pick, of course. If you've been keeping track in your head, you knew the last boss to discuss was Final Boss. This boss fight is really good, and while I think it's for the better that Annihilate is the true final battle in the game, this fight still does a good job of rewarding the player for all of the hard work they've done to reach this point. I love how all the flower minions surround the screen, how they lead you up the screen as if leading you up to the big bad at the top of the tower, how the boss has a really cool introduction. Everything about this fight is just so good, gameplay and art-wise. The song is great, especially for a fight like this because it has an exciting build-up and drop. The way numbers of flower henchmen are attacking you and how the boss takes off his crown lets you know you're in for a fight. Final Boss is challenging at first, but once you learn the patterns and how to avoid them, you'll be able to have a fun time playing it. Basically, everything about this boss is super cool, and while I was a little skeptical after I beat it in the story mode, the level does a pretty good job of making you think it is the end of the game. Final Boss is great as a setup to Annihilate, and just on its own. It's definitely the best boss battle in just shapes and beats. Thanks for watching my ranking. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe so you'll know when I make new content. I'll see you all next time. Bye!